Hi, this is Alex here with 435 South Magazine for Compliments of the Chef. We're here with Carla at the Roasterie Cafe. So, can you please tell us a little bit about the Roasterie?
Sure, we're a specialty coffee shop. We're located in Leawood at 119th. In addition to the coffees that we feature, we also feature tea, iced tea. We also have products that you can buy for Christmas presents. We are especially known for the variety of coffees that we carry from around the world. We carry coffee from about 31 different countries. And our specialty also is a brew bar where we feature the coffees in different brewing methods. These methods you can actually brew them at home if you buy the products or the methods that we brew the coffees through. It's a really good Christmas present for the people that love coffee and that love specialty coffee.
Thanks. So, I understand that we're going to go over to Josh in a minute. So, what is he going to tell us about?
Josh is going to feature three different kinds of methods: a siphon, a pour over, and a French press. These are three phenomenal ways of brewing coffee even at home. The difference between those and just regular drip coffee would be it features it brings out the characteristics in every specific coffee differently, so you can taste different things in a special coffee. It features to a coffee in particular, and it's a kind of a one cup at a time way of brewing coffee.
So, let's go over to Josh to learn more about that.
All right, today we're going to talk about three different brew methods, and we're going to highlight three different roastery coffees. The first method we're going to talk about is the French press. French press is a real common brew method. A lot of people have a French press in their home. The coffee that we're going to highlight is the State of Kenya. The Kenya coffee is a real good coffee for the French press brew method. So what I've got here is I've got a French press. I've already ground our coffee. I've got 24 grams of ground Kenya in here already. I'm going to add, this is hot water. I'm going to add 12 ounces of hot water. I've got our little scale here, so I'm going to be watching our ounces. All right, so we've added our 12 ounces of water here to our French press. We're going to set our timer for 4 minutes. 2 minutes into the brew process, where's that? What's going to happen is we're going to have a nice little crust form here on top of the coffee. So 2 minutes into the brew process, I'm going to take this. You can use a spoon, anything, and you're not going to stir in the coffee. You're just going to break the surface of the coffee. And what you'll see is this crust that's formed on the top of the coffee is going to collapse into the water. That way, all the coffee that we're using is going to get in that water and it's going to get extracted properly. So 2 minutes in, we're going to break the crust. It's going to fall in, and then we're going to set this on top. And then we'll just press it down right until we just barely begin to feel the tension of the water. And then we're going to let it continue to extract for an extra 2 minutes there. At the end of 4 minutes, we'll go ahead and push this all the way down, and we'll pour our Kenya. The next method we're going to look at here is the pour over. The first thing you want to do with a pour over, and I've already pre-rinsed this, but I just want to show you real quick, is the filter. It's really important that you pour some water over the filter, and this is going to get all the flavor from that paper out. You don't want to taste the paper or the filter, any of the flavors from the filter. You don't want that in your coffee. So you'll start off by pouring that water over the filter, and that's also going to preheat all the things that you're going to be using to extract the coffee. You want all this to be hot so that the water doesn't cool off, your coffee doesn't cool off right away. So that's going to rinse the filter, and it's going to preheat our pour over. We're going to add our coffee here using Costa Rica. It's the pea berry. Pea berry is going to have citrus flavor. It's going to be kind of spicy, have a real creamy body, and it's going to have a honey-like finish. So for this, I'm going to add, how many grams of water are we going to use here? Sorry. I'm going to add 360 grams of water I'm going to start off by pouring this over here, and what we want to get is a little, what we call the bloom. You'll see the coffee will kind of rise up and make a little bloom, and then I'm just going to let it set for about 15, 30 seconds until that collapses in. Now I'm starting to see the surface of this kind of crater a little bit. That tells me I'm ready to add the rest of our water, the rest of our, we started off with 80 grams the first time. Now I'm just going to pour this over. I want to pour around the edges, real close to the paper, but I don't actually want to pour on the paper. And then I want to kind of work my way back toward the middle. Then I'll go back out. Just to make sure I just get that water in all that coffee, and all that coffee's getting properly extracted there. And I'll just pour up until right to the edge of the filter. 360 grams of water right there. And now I'm just going to let that extract. This will drain in, then we'll have our coffee and it'll be ready to go. And again, that's our Costa Rica pea berry. Now, Evelyn's going to talk about the siphon. She's going to be using the Rwanda coffee on the siphon. Go ahead, Evelyn.
So whenever you start a siphon, you need to make sure that we like to pre-rinse our filter. We like to pre-rinse everything so you don't get like any flavor from this filter or anything that is left over there. We want the water to be 198 degrees before we place the top part of the siphon. It's also known as the vacuum method. It came from Germany to America like in 1930. So we're gonna wait for the water to rise up, and we wanna make sure it's to 198 to 200 degrees before we pour the coffee, and then we'll let it brew for a minute and 10 seconds. So in the meantime, we want to make sure that there's no bubbles around the water, that the water will be rising up evenly. And one of the tips that I learned, like throughout making this siphon, it's like you don't want to make sure that the heat is on at all times, that you're not adjusting it back and forth, otherwise you will not be brewing your coffee correctly. So as you can tell, it's just rising up really quickly, and you'll just stir it a few times just to make it evenly. And now you drop the coffee. As soon as you drop your coffee, you start your timer. You want to move it just to make sure that all the grounds are wet, so we can brew this coffee. And it takes literally like 2 minutes to do this whole process of brewing the coffee, but you want to make sure that you're not touching the flame and you're not touching anything around it, otherwise it will just fall apart and your coffee will not be tasting good, because we want to make sure that we get the honey and raspberry notes and everything that we want to extract from this coffee. And I feel like African coffees are better in a siphon just because they have more flavor, but also if you get a Costa Rican or the Kenya, you'll have like different tastes in the way that you brew this coffee.
So again, those are our 3 brew methods. We've got the French press, the pour over, and the siphon. We've demonstrated those for you. Again, with the French press, we had the Kenya Estate. With the pour over, the Costa Rican pea berry. And with the siphon here, we had the Rwanda. And so we have these here, and you can taste them. Different flavors, different coffees from different brew methods.
Well, that was really interesting. So, Carla, can you please tell us again about your store hours and location?
Sure, we're located at 119th in Leawood in the 119th shopping area. We're open 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. During the week, 7 to 11 on the weekends. Please come and visit us over the holidays. We have some fun gift baskets, and we also have our holiday blend at our stores. We also have a store in Brookside and one on 27th Street downtown. If you're closer to either of the other ones, we're also open there. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.
So again, this has been Alex with 435 South Magazine's Compliments to the Chef, and this is Carla. We are at the Roasterie. See you next time.